We live in an age where art has been raised to the status of a religion, and we view it in great cathedrals like the Tate Modern or the Museum of Modern Art in New York. Even smaller galleries with their whitewashed walls have an air of hushed reverence, but it's easy to forget that the work itself comes from real studios and is made by real people. In this series of short videos, we talk directly to the artists themselves about their practice, seeking to demystify and explain art from their perspectives. We will ask each the same 21 questions and let them explain in their own words.
This is London. London calling in the home and through United Nations Radio Mediterranean. Supreme Headquarters, Allied Expeditionary Force, have just issued communique number 1, and in a few seconds I will read it to you.
The last film I saw was Laissez-Passer, which is a French film. Now, I didn't stage it and see it on purpose for this interview, but actually it's a really amazing film. It's about this guy during the World War, basically. Gets caught up in all the trouble, turns out to be a hero, but he only does what is morally right. He's not out there for kind of to be part of the backlash or part of the revolution or the resistance. He just happens to be in this film. The last book I read, let me think of it. I'm actually reading Apollinaire right now on art. I honestly am, but if you want to know the book before that, it was Martin Amis, Yellow Dog, which is an excellent book. My earliest recollection of making something, if I could go down that road, is drawing a bowl of fruit in crayons. We had this great fruit bowl. It was blue, navy blue. And I drew this fruit bowl with all the fruit, flat, as you would, I had glitter coloured crayons and all the rest of it. And when I finished it, a guest at the house, some woman at the house, and I don't know who she was, came over and she said, "Oh, you didn't sign it, you didn't put your name." And I said, "Well, why would I sign it?" She said, "Oh, well, all artists sign their work." That's my earliest, it stuck in my head and I signed it. Well, you're in my working environment right now. My working environment is on the 4th floor of a fantastic warehouse in Peckham. It's a studio around, 5 by 4 meters. Concrete floor, white walls, a little old desk stolen from God knows where, used for exams back in 1997, chock full of all of my paintings. My favourite medium is oil paint. It's the most versatile of mediums for me, because you can make it behave like watercolour, like gouache, like poster paint. You can make it behave like acrylic. You can make it behave like oil paint, but also like polyfillet, or like, gooey, slippy. You can get it behave like any sort of medium whatsoever, so that's my favourite. But I actually work in all materials, inks, spray paints, colouring pencils a lot. Because then when I return to the oil paint, I have more of a sort of list of textures in my brain to go from. I paint people. I like people. I think people are great. I haven't always painted people, but I've always gone for work which talks about some sort of emotional background, if you will. Whatever the subject matter is, you'll find that there's a very strong and intense sense of, an emotional sense of a particular character in the work. I roll into the studio around 10, half 10 when you work for yourself. This is exactly what you would do. I tend to stay here until 9, 10 at night, sometimes 12, sometimes 1 in the morning, depends how long I go. I always start by sketching with pencils as a warm-up, but also I just enjoy line work. And eventually I'll get to a point where I've clarified my idea. I realise why I'm sketching what I'm sketching and what it's leading towards, at which point I'll grab a canvas and just get to work. And then I'll be there for as long as it takes, basically. Day after day after day. All days of the week. I take photographs, principally, and sketch from the model. And bring these back to the studio, and as I've described, I sort of work off them, off a range of photographs. But if I take, say, 50, I'll find I'm working from 3. And I'll find that I actually really like 1. It's always one that's the strongest, and this will stick in my head and it will keep popping up in my mind no matter what I'm doing, brushing my teeth, trying to settle down for the night, trying to write an email. This image will start. It won't go away. Then I know what it is I'm meant to do next. I'll do that, and I find this sort of follow-through keeps growing and growing. Of course, I do look at it on the conceptual front. I do try and distance myself from the work and see where it's going. But as a painter, I find personally, you're not always sort of controlling your output. It's far better to sort of let the work emerge and watch it. It's far more pleasurable. I'd say for me the most ambitious things I've done is, as well as continuing my current body of work, putting on a show, in fact at the Warehouse where we are currently. Is that the sort of answer you're looking for? Mm-hmm. Right. Where I would be organising not only my own work to go into the show, but work from other artists. So for example, the last show I did, I had 18 artists, 36 pieces of art, ranging paint, sculpture, print, video, you name it, it was there. And we had a live debate, a live forum taking place with the local radio station, also roped in, and the promotion, and we had live music too. So that was challenging because there was a lot of elements to organise, get to come together. And yet, as well as this managerial role, if you want, this curatorial role that I took on by choice, I was also still trying to continue smoothly with my own ideas, without the interruption of phone calls and problems and people falling off ladders, which, by the way, didn't happen. Yeah, that was demanding because of the scope of sort of talents that it was draining from all at the same time.
Yeah.